Good evening and welcome to another scene in the living world of darkness, the Camarilla and Anarch venue. Tonight in the bunker, Mr. Spillane has gotten a written note. Um, he's found it in his pocket. He didn't notice anyone putting it there, but oh well. It just says, to see me in my quarters and in a time, and then there is just the name Theodore. So Mr. Spillane is currently heading towards the private quarters of the set elder.
Hmm. Knock knock.
Well, there's not a knock. He's actually waiting for you. So he lets
No, in
you
which
in.
case, no knocks, just barging in.
Fair enough.
Okay, I'll blow the bloody doors off.
Theodore just gestures you to a chair and just gets down. So, you have had 24 hours to come to this decision. Hope you spend them well. No, this is not. Well, such times as war, we have very little time to make some very critical decisions. Never enough time, never enough information, but alas, we must make decisions.
Aye, when it comes to deciding who I prefer to be the prince of the city, I'd support you. The complication I have is finding a way to do so publicly without, well, inadvertently sabotaging you, to be honest.
Well, publicly, the proper people, the right people should know, and I think I can work something out. But it seems that you have decided what I hoped you would, by siding with me. I knew you would see reason. It's good to know. Good to have you see reason. Now, I will have you. You don't need to go out and publicly state it in the bunker or something. I will simply have you tell Maria. That should more than suffice. Tell her that the deal is no longer viable for you, and you will not become her seneschal. It is neutral. It will perhaps, well, most likely, mean that you will become a neonate. Maybe. Again. She will publicly be, well, quite clear when you do so. So, that's a very simple solution. She gets all the information she needs, and you affirm clearly, not to anyone else, but just to her, how things are. Is that not an agreeable situation?
The problem is if I tell her, she tells everybody else.
Exactly.
Sam kind of is. It's like he doesn't seem to understand why that's supposed to be a good thing. Strokes back his hair once.
Um, if you didn't know better, it almost looks as though he's expecting you to call or like tell her now, but you don't have a direct line to her. You need to go through actually a couple of people to talk to her. He just looks at you and just says, I know this is concerning for you, but, well, you will do this. You will do this now. This will do more than one thing. It will make it clear to everyone that you are on the side of this city. And it will also very, very clearly demonstrate your loyalty to me. He just looks at you. Oh, my apologies. Of course, you could not. And he fishes up what looks like a satellite phone and just says, "This has very, very good reception. It's a very reliable phone." And he types the number and just hands you. He's not. It's not calling, but he hands you the phone and just sits back.
So, Sam, actually, Sam, for the first time in a while, looks like he's been insulted. He obviously feels like this is just straight mocking him, and he deserves better than this. Um, he puts the phone in his pocket for a second, looking irritated, and says, Do you realize what will happen if I tell her what you want me to tell her?
Yes, I do, but please allow me. Well, let's assume. Let's entertain this notion. Let's say I don't know. What do you think will happen?
I'll be rendered totally impotent in regards to anything and everything regarding this city and beyond, and destroying my own reputation within my own clan.
You will be completely impotent in this city. How?
That child is still here. I'll lose my status and the control I have over my own clan. What I earned, frankly.
Theodore will just he just closes the gap between you, and can you roll me a stamina roll?
Yeah, sure. Just pure stamina? Do I
Yeah,
include fortitude
please.
in this?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Oh, 3 successes.
You bashing, but he delivers a slap that just send you through the room. There's not a lot of space here, but it's a good couple of meters as you hit the wall, and you just, Mr. Spillane, you will take the phone, you will make that phone call, you will show your loyalty to me, or I will have to take this meeting of ours, as a somewhat different response than that you are with me. Do you understand?
Sam gets up and dusts himself off rather hastily. A bit of a panicked fashion.
You can dust
And
yourself off.
yeah. You realize
Uh,
if I do this, I will lose everything.
but we will trust each other, and we will build this city up from the ground, and you will be with me. You will have my support and my protection. Call the number or refuse. If you refuse, well, I must take certain precautions, of course. But I hope you understand.
Need something. I need a political reason to do so, though. Otherwise, I mean, this doesn't even help you if you do. It just comes across as a betrayal. It's like poaching a player of their favorite football team.
I have been at this a lot longer than you have, and right now I need to know that your words mean more than I think they do. If you have a future in this city with me as its prince, or you do not. One thing I would remind you of, I was called a fledgling for the first 45 years of my existence, a neonate for over 100. Take the blows that come, Mr. Spillane. They will not get easier, they will only get harder. But the sooner you learn to deal with adversity, the stronger you will become. Now, either give me the phone and get out, or call the number and say what you must say.
I'm sure you understand this comes is literally treasonous to my own clan. How can you guarantee me protection from that? First,
First of all, I have my ways. Secondly, you do realize, especially your own clan, yes, sure, it looks and sometimes act like a monolith, but are you sure that this is completely the case? Honestly, now, we think everyone, just out of the good of their hearts, support her? Honestly?
whether or not they do is largely irrelevant at this point. The fact is that the clan is acting like a monolith right now. I know Gwen doesn't agree, but she has not
That
taken any
is,
action.
honestly, Mr. Spillane, that is a secondary or tertiary factor at this moment. Loyalty is the primary thing here. Now, the phone is in your pocket. Take it up and call, or leave.
There is a moment of silence. This time kind of twirls the phone, trying to think of something. Again, he still looks... Well, I mean, very, 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 very angry. He's not even trying to hide it. Theodore can speak up if this silence annoys him, by the way. This is not me stalling. This is literally Sam kind of...
What? Well, that depends on what he does, really.
Looks like he keeps... He... The way he kind of fidgets with the phone is that, like, you can see him kind of pressing a button and then taking it off and then pressing the button and then taking it off. You know, like he's completing the number and then not completing it. How am I supposed to trust you after this?
Trust is a mutual thing. I know after this that I can trust you, and therefore you can trust me. Well, to a certain extent, as much as you can trust anyone in our lives. Honestly, I would not say that you can trust anyone, not even yourself. But I do not want to get into an existential debate about the beast and what it means. What I want from you is a decision.
But in doing so, I mean, okay.
See, this is the thing about trust. You will do this and you will trust me. Yes, there will be bumps in the road, and yes, there will be mistrust, but such mistrust should be, well, expected, honestly, especially in the situation we are in.
And what is to say I am simply not disregarded once this call is made?
That will be her loss. A great loss.
I mean, from your end, and he just kind of points, like, with a tense...
See Theodore's arm just, like, he tightens it a bit. You can guess what that means.
A whole fucking plan.
Does Mr. Spillane call the number?
He has not yet called the number. He just kind of holds his hands up in the air. Presumably the Fyodor understands the point Sam is making is that if he makes the call, like, what assurances are there for Sam? There's nothing, literally.
You do realize why I do this, yes? You have, well, maybe to their own detriment in some cases. You surely did not help Selena. You surely did not help Scott. Two people who supported me, and then inadvertently, or perhaps fully knowingly, you dealt me a somewhat disrespectful gesture during the trial. It may have been bad planning, but your blows did hurt me. I am now forced to a position where I need, unequivocally, to know that I can trust you.
Hey, I would have not sold Scott down the river had I known he was your mentee, and Selena earned it. She said she was going to kill another. She would have done the same to you if she got mad at you. I'm not going to spit all over the traditions because it's politically convenient.
Do not dare go anywhere near that I do not care for the traditions. Mind your words very carefully right now, Mrs. Spillane. If anyone is to say that I do not care about traditions, that I would throw them to the wind on simply just a feeling, or because I do not like them, they do not know me at all. I will have none of that talk. You can see that there seemed a bit more personal for some reason. Like something just irked him a lot more there. Honestly, I tire of this, Mr. Spillane. It will be over very fast. You only need to dial the number. You don't even need to get on a plane, anything.
Maybe true, wouldn't matter. I could say it to Maria's face and it wouldn't be any different.
I would differ. I would beg to differ in that account, but oh well.
And I'd be doing this for a promise
that your situation, your future in this city is assured.
Other kindred have made these promises to me in the past.
Those kindred were not me, Mr. Spillane. I honestly don't know what is more insulting. That you have not made a decision, or do you think that I would not be able to protect a neonate? Do realize that I have 3 clans backing my claim. I am an elder, and Maria does not come near this city on a regular basis. Do you think that there might be another reason? Might be that she does not want to be here because she feels, well, what shall we say, uncomfortable being near a rival. I really do dislike violence, but I am not hesitating too much more if you are honestly suggesting that I would not be able to protect a neonate under my care. Unless, of course, that neonate is sold out from under me, and I'm not notified, of course.
Sam seems to notice that you say neonate instead of Ancilla. That there's and Fyodor will probably recognize that because he seems to react physically, not like as in he winces or anything, but that he looks almost wistful when it said, almost like it's kind of like, well, it's when Sam seems to recognize that it gives away something that Fyodor probably recognizes is going to happen. Okay. One last question before I make this call or decision, whatever. Kind of shakes his hands. Just he's too stressed to even care at this point. Like it looked like he got really mad before, and now he's just like, I'm done. He's on the downturn of this climax, as it were. What would you all want me to do once the support is my position is shifted?
I have you have a certain knack for directing people who have not had the best access to an education and venerable job opportunities, need to find their own way in life. These are unstable elements in any city, and I need someone to at least keep them at bay, and I think you are uniquely qualified for that. To start with.
Because the player is a moron, what is Fyodor saying?
He's saying that various criminal elements is something that someone needs to take care of and deal with and administer, and he finds you somewhat uniquely qualified to do that to start with. Something that there is no control over at present, well, not in any meaningful way. Beyond that, the city's Ventru do need, what shall we say, some direction, informal or formal. I doubt that they would listen too much to Mr. Kellogg or myself. Who will they listen to? I wonder.
Right, the only reason I ask is, well, because there are a lot of people here that support you and they don't see an intent on doing anything about the situation. Which,
Oh, I am forced in this and many other regards to make them involved. I really wish to have avoided much of this until the war was over, but apparently the stupidity must commence now. Do not fret. You will not be the only one who will have a new direction in their own life.
there's is this one of those flip phones? Like it's not a smartphone. It's one of those really old phones.
It looks like you know what a satellite phone is.
Wait.
It's a fairly advanced satellite phone. It can get a reception fairly easily, pretty much anywhere on the planet. It doesn't need a mobile tower. It connects directly to a satellite.
Ah.
It's very expensive, and he said it's probably good connection. So you're thinking that this is probably not traceable as well. You would think. Meaning that it also gets connection down here.
Okay. So I'm saying. So you just want me to say I can't be a seneschal right now, or he just kind of shakes the phone at it lightly in his general direction. Not he doesn't like
That
put it in
the,
his face.
that the agreement is not something you can abide by, or you cannot stand by the agreement anymore, and you cannot be her seneschal. That is all.
Okay. As he puts up the phone to his ear, there's a light chuckle that comes from him.
Mm.
This
As
reminds me of one of those old movies where you turn down that supposed dream job to go with your gut.
he just very lightly nods. There's a bit of not usual ringing sounds. There is like a couple of sounds, like tones, and then you hear a ring after a while, and there's about two rings, and then you will hear a voice. The voice of an elder named Maria. Hello?
Sam Sam is like for for a moment, there's he is the phone just like it's literally just a split second of like that he just outstretches his hand with the phone as in like holy shit, I actually reached someone sort of reaction.
Hello?
Right. Hello, this is Samuel Spillane speaking.
Mr. Spillane? Wow. I had not... How did you get this number? I mean, I knew you were resourceful, but I didn't know you could... How did you get this number?
It's a very long, complicated situation. You need not worry. I won't be keeping the number. For your own security, of course. The reason I've called is because I must most regretfully announce that at this time, due to the nature of the conflict that I am in, I will not be able to uphold my end of our contract and thus will not be able to take a position as a senator at this time. I apologize. It brings me no pleasure to say this. However, I thought it would do you justice to inform you personally, rather than doing something as impersonal as write a letter.
There'll be a couple of seconds, and you'll just hear, I see. And like a bit of a pause, and just says, and then you'll hear something that sounds like plastic and components getting squeezed, and then the phone will go out. She crushes up or hangs up the phone. Your guess is. She may have squeezed it a bit too hard.
Oops.
And we'll stand there. And Theodore will. Theodore will.
Oh my god.
Theodore will just say, very good, Mrs. Spillane. We have much to talk about. I still have bunker to secure, but I will get back to you very, very soon, as soon as I can. We will do great things together. I'm glad you made this decision, the correct decision. Have a very good evening. And Theodore will just nod to him and sit down, and he seems to be looking at schematics for something, blueprints of multiple buildings, it seems, and lots of stuff. As Mr. Spillane he's just standing there, dumbstruck in awe of what has just happened, or if he just shakes his head and just wanders off and just doesn't believe what just happened, or whatever the case may be. I will let that be up to the player. What is Mrs. Spillane what is he doing? Does he leave the room, or does he just stand there, or what?
Well, he's just happy he gets a free phone. Sam had hoped Theodore would stick around to be a bit more of a comfort than good job, buddy, and then fucks off. Instead, he's still left with that kind of sinking, irritated feeling of rampant cynicism running through his head. Eventually kind of putting it down to, oh well, I was a neonate before, I'll deal with it and probably kill my way up the food chain again.
And as Mr. Spillane is getting a healthy dose of the Camarilla, rectally infused,
so making
we
me
will
knock off the sandbars.
we will end this scene as the two part ways. Thank you very much, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.